everybody, this is Brian here from Let's Play Quietly, and this is another installment of the weekly Whisper. Today, I'm going to be talking about MLB The Show 2017. I've been playing a lot of this game over the course of the week, and I'm really impressed with it. I've played previous iterations of this game, and I've always had fun with it. But this year, I decided that I was going to really dive into the campaign, which is called Road to the Show. And what I've discovered about it is that it's actually pretty much a role-playing game, which has made me kind of fascinated with it. So, you'll see in the video here that I am choosing what type of player that I want to be. Then I've chosen a closing pitcher. I am a huge fan of the San Diego Padres, and I have been for many years. They had arguably the second best closer of all time in Trevor Hoffman, and I decided that I was going to play a character that wanted to follow in his footsteps. And so, my character is going to have the number that is right behind his. Trevor Hoffman was 51, and my character is going to be 52. But he aspires to be a closing pitcher. And so, that was sort of my thought going into this season of MLB The Show, was to basically be an aspiring closer for my favorite team. What's interesting about this year's version is, compared to previous years that I've played a bit of this Road to the Show mode, this year's version is less, it's more robust, I should say. In previous versions, you create your character and you play for the minor league affiliates, and eventually you get called up to the big leagues. And in some ways, this is not that different, except for the fact that in terms of the gameplay, that stuff is similar. But what's different is that there is a role-playing element to the game now, where you are making decisions and facing these different situations that you can respond to in different ways, and it will affect how the game progresses. Things like you can choose to not play for the team that drafted you, and you can go back to college, and you can come back the next year and try to get drafted again. You can choose to have an agent or keep an advisor that you have had for a long time. You can accept a request for a position change if the coach wants you to play a certain position or change your role. You could go along with that, or you could decide that you don't want anything to do with that, and the game will then proceed accordingly. And so that's kind of awesome. you'll notice that I'm goofing around with my name as I'm creating my character. I decided about halfway through that I was going to name the character after my dog. So we have a Lab and Shepherd mix that had a spotted tongue when he was a puppy, and we named him Larry Watermelon because the spots on his tongue looked like watermelon seeds, and so our dog is Larry Watermelon. Now, the character that I am playing in MLB is also Larry Watermelon, and so that's why I decided a ways through to actually change my name. And as I mentioned before, the number that I chose was 52 because Trevor Hoffman was 51. So that's kind of the role that I'm playing, is wanting to follow in his footsteps. But the character creation tool is robust enough that you can create a unique character with it. I didn't change my appearance to begin with, but I actually went back and did that later on because I didn't realize I could right away. But what's cool is you see that you are starting out at a scout day, and so you are literally just at the point where you are going through drills and you are going to put on a pitching demonstration and basically try to show the scouts what you have to make it to the big leagues. And you can't hear this while I'm talking now, but there's a narrator that is going over the different parts of your story and talking about how a young player is coming into the league for the first time, and these are the choices that they're faced with. And you'll see here that there are conversations that you have with your coaches that talk about either them giving you advice or letting you know what to expect. The first part of the evaluation that you have to go through is just kind of showing how accurate you can be with your pitches. The system for pitching is very much like a lot of the golf games of the past couple decades where there is a swing meter. Well, here you have a pitch meter, so you are clicking the button once to start the meter. You're clicking it a second time to determine how hard you're throwing the ball, and then you're trying to land on a specific point on the way back to ensure that your throw is accurate. And so, in the beginning here, I'm just pitching to different points in the strike zone and trying to show the scouts that I have control over my pitches. I chose a slider, a sinker, and a two-seam fastball as my pitches, but that's what I'm talking about in terms of the role-playing game elements, because it's almost like picking your abilities when you create a character at the beginning of a role-playing game, or choosing what spells you have. In this game, you're creating a character and you are choosing what pitches that you have, and as time goes on, you will be able to learn different pitches, and you'll be able to change the ones that you already have and make them better, and you'll gain more control over the ball or more velocity. And so it's this constant system of improvement, and you earn experience points just like you would in any other RPG, and you use them to upgrade your abilities, not just your pitches, but other aspects of your character, like your stamina or your ability to perform in the clutch and stuff like that. So it really is a pretty cool and deep role-playing game that is on top of this really well-implemented baseball game. And so, when you choose your character and when you start playing for the minor league affiliate, you are basically playing each appearance that you have. So, as a closing pitcher or a relief pitcher, I will get called into a game at certain points during the game, and I will do my job, and then it will skip to the next game. And so you're not playing all of these games from start to finish. You're just playing your part of them. And so it's kind of easy to jump into this game and to play for a half hour and play through like 5 or 6 appearances. And when you think about it, again, like an RPG, that's almost like jumping into a role-playing game and playing through some encounters with enemies where you earn experience and you level up. And so it really is. This role-playing game, I'm very impressed by how well they've done with that. And then with the dialogue options and stuff, it really is just much more than I expected it to be. So that's kind of my ramble for this week, is that I'm really enjoying the show, and it is very RPG-like. So if you liked this ramble and you liked this video, then please click like and subscribe to our YouTube page, and I will be back again next week with another weekly whisper.